What's up guys, Alex from FIFA Scouting Tips here, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of Pompey Youth Stars. We are in the Premier League now. We have just started the season and it is going to be tough. So we'll crack on with that in a sec. Don't forget that the Scouting Goal Contest is on this month and it is on strikers. All the details for that will be at the end of the video. Before I get started with this game against QPR, I was listening to all your comments in the suggestions for what I should do in these videos, and you were mentioning about buying players and looking in the free agents. Well, I had to look in the free agents and found this guy here, Francesco Verre. He looks really good. Look at some of those stats. So I'm going to approach him to sign him, see if we can get a good central midfielder in the team, because he could be a really useful addition to us. So we'll just go with his default demands and see if he accepts that, and hopefully he will, and we'll have a really good solid central midfielder hopefully to help us in the Premier League. But before that, we have this game against QPR. So first game of the season, let's see how we do. We made the perfect start to life in the Premier League, Ryan Green winning the ball back and instantly throwing it through to Bong, whose pace and turning just could not be stopped by the defenders, and then he just slotted it home past the goalkeeper for our first goal in the Premier League. What a fantastic start that was, just 9 minutes in, and Bong just outpaced the defence and slotted it home for his first goal in the Premier League, and this was the ideal start for us. We really wanted to get on the front foot, but QPR were not going to roll over. They had a shot pretty much instantly after our goal. Luckily it was a pretty weak effort, but soon after they pretty much identified Paulett as the main man to hit. Usually it's Bong who gets all the harsh tackles, but this time it was Paulett. Literally 30 seconds after that first one, he got hit again with 2 yellow cards being shown to the QPR players. And he was obviously the danger man they'd identified, but they came out and played some actual football and got a goal back shortly after. I say actual football, it was the sweatiest of goals, just passing it past Doherty, and I responded in the only way I knew how to, really, with Bong. He just went on another run, defenders couldn't get close to him, and in the end it took almost 3 defenders to finally put an end to his run. He was the key player for me in that half. We came in at half-time 1-1 against QPR, a very decent Premier League team, and considering this is our first game in the league, I was fairly happy with that. We weren't getting slaughtered, we were making a pretty good account for ourselves, and I was pretty hopeful for the second half that we could do quite well. But the second half was intensely boring, I'm sorry to say. It took until 80 minutes before anything of note happened, and luckily it happened for us. It was that man Bong again, racing past his defender and slotting in what looked to be the winning goal. With just 10 minutes left, we were 2-1 up, and it sparked wild celebrations for my players. This was the prospect of us winning our first ever Premier League game. Fantastic moment, and just look at the pace here, the acceleration. The QPR central defender just could not keep up with him, and he is so deadly with that pace he's got. As we all know, he is going to be a key player for us this season. We have to make sure we keep hold of Bong if we're going to have any chance of staying up at all. So that was 2-1 with just 10 minutes left, and like I said earlier, I was feeling pretty confident that I could get a decent result from this game. But QPR almost brought one back pretty much instantly, crossed the ball in, and they really should have done better with that header. They couldn't even get it on target, and I was mightily relieved. And that luckily was all there was time for, and we'd won our first ever game in the Premier League, 2-1. We were completely dominated in possession and in the shot count, but it didn't matter. We got the goals where it was important, and it was that man Bong, of course, with the 8.6 rating, man of the match. All my other players were fairly average. Ryan Green had a really good debut though, my 6'7" monster in midfield. He was putting in a load of good tackles and set up the goal as well, of course. But we came out with a fantastic result in our first ever game in the Premier League. Okay, I've been looking around for some players because I think I need to strengthen the team a little bit more. Haven't got a huge amount of money, so I'm probably just going to be loaning in some players, but we have a couple here of interest. Basically, I think I need a right back, a left back, and a defensive midfielder. So that's what I've got here. These are the best ones that I could find. So we have Tim Zimmerman, rated 69 at right back. Really good pace, so hopefully he's going to be able to keep things tight at right back. Then we have Angelo Da Silva at 66. For some reason it was really hard to find any good left backs. I scouted all over the place, and he was pretty much the best one I could find. His pace is okay, but he is, like I said, the best left back I could find, and he's definitely better than my starting left back at the moment, so I'll bring him in. Not going to get this guy, but just look at some of these stats. If you've been following this series for a little while, you'll know that I found him a couple of seasons ago and he was good then, but just look at him now. all dark green physical stats, 89 short passing, 86 ball control. He is just absolutely incredible. One of the best players for his age in the game, surely. Absolutely fantastic. So I can't afford to bring him in, obviously, but one that I do want to get in is Andreas Bunn at 73 overall. He is a player who I had back a couple of seasons ago, I think 1 or 2 seasons ago, and he was really good then. Brought him in on loan, and he's still really good now, so I'm going to do the same. Bring him in on loan and see how he does. So those three, Andreas Bunn, Angelo Da Silva and Tim Zimmerman, they're the players that I want to bring in. So let's see what we can do about that. Right, I inquired for Tim Zimmerman rather than applying for a loan because I noticed that his value was quite low in that list you just saw. So I sent off an inquiry and they said £2.4 million for him. If you remember, I'm selling a player to Barcelona, I think, for around about £4 million. So when that goes through, I could be able to afford Zimmerman. He's very good. 86 sprint speed is a lot better than any of my other right backs I've got at the moment. They're all extremely slow, so he'll be a really good addition to the team. And obviously he's a regen, so he's not a real player, so we can bring him in. So I think I will go for him and see how much we can get him for. Right, first piece of good news, Angelo Da Silva, he is available to loan. They have accepted my offer, so we will go straight away and accept that, and he will now join our team on loan. Okay, bad news. QPR don't want us to loan Andreas Bunn, I'm guessing because he's already pretty good for them and quite an important player for them. So we're going to have to look around for another central midfielder instead. Okay, it's been some good news though. Francesco Verri has accepted our offer of a contract, so he's going to join our team. So let's go and have a look at how good he is now in the squad report. Okay, here he is, 70 overall and showing great potential. It's really good to see at least 80 potential. Some really nice stats in there as well. 84 acceleration and 78 sprint speed. Good passing and dribbling as well. And that should be really useful. We all know how hard it is to find quick players in FIFA 15. So he should be a really useful player. Let's have a look at some of his other stats too. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills, and he's left-footed, and he's quite tall as well, so he should be quite a useful player all round. Although it says there 68 overall, so that is a little glitch. What that basically means is the game thinks he's 70 overall, but in reality he is 68. So next month I will have on my scouting report, it will say that he's gone down 2 points. What that will mean is he hasn't actually gone down 2 points, that's just the game correcting it and displaying his proper overall. His proper real overall is 68, but it's displaying it wrong, it's displaying it as 70. So that's a bit annoying, but don't be surprised next month when he goes down 2 points, just to warn you. Okay, so we can't get Andreas Bunn, but I have found a potential replacement. It's this guy here, Philip Jayamera. He is a 19-year-old defensive midfielder, and if you look there, it says showing great potential. So I reckon he's going to be quite a good player. He has got £15,000 in wages, but we can afford that because we sold Abdelhamid to Barcelona, so that freed up some wages and lots of money in transfer funds. So we will go to loan this guy for the full season, and hopefully he's going to turn out to be a really useful player for us. Right, Stuttgart said that we can take Jayamera on loan, so we will do that, accept that, and let's go and have a look at how good he is. Right, here we go. He is looking really impressive. 71 overall at 19 years old. Him and Verre together are going to be really good. Look at those physical stats, really impressive. 79 sprint speed and 76 strength should be a good combination. He's got good passing and good tackling as well. So hopefully he's going to be a useful player to shut down those higher rated teams against us. With a bit of luck, he can play better than his rating would suggest. So he should be a very useful player indeed. Okay, now let's move on to Tim Zimmerman. If you remember, they said that they wanted about £2.4 million for him. I reckon we can get him for less than that. I'm going to start a little bit lower. Yeah, let's try £1.5 million, around about that sort of mark. And if they don't like that, they can give us a counter offer. But let's start the bidding there and see what we get for him. Right, up next we have our next game in the Premier League, and it is against Swansea. I'll be playing this game again, so let's see how we do. This game was completely different to the last one. Swansea were so good. I could not cope with their short passing. They were just tearing me to shreds. Luckily, I had Doherty in goal, who was a match for them, producing a string of good saves. They came again shortly after, just dodging past my defence, and only a fantastic block from my centre-back prevented a certain goal. They were through on goal, they beat Doherty with a shot, and it just ricocheted off my defender's shin. From the resulting corner, it was obviously well practiced. I've never seen anything like that before, but again Doherty was equal to the shot and kept it at 0-0. The only chance that came my way in this half came to Jayamera beating a couple of defenders, but then a really weak cross which was easily dealt with by the Swansea backline. And we came in at half time absolutely dominated. We only had 38% possession, no shots at all. Swansea had 4 shots. They were right on top of it. It looked like they were going to run away with this game. I was feeling so lucky, but we did make the first impact of the half. Bong cutting inside his defender, his shot ricocheting up into the air, and then panic at the back let Bennett in to somehow head us into the lead. I could not believe it at this point, but look at that disarray in defence. I don't know what was going on with Swansea there, but I was not complaining. This allowed me to get in completely against the run of play. It's my only shot of the game so far, and I was 1-0 up, complete surprise, and it was Bennett's first goal of the season in the Premier League, and I was just going to try and hold on from this point onwards. But Swansea kept on coming, but their attacks weren't really producing much. They weren't very good, and Doherty was easily sweeping up what they're doing. Their short passing continued to taunt me though, just could not stop them here. Luckily that foul was just outside the box, but luckily for me they put a centre back on free kick duty and he smashed it high and wide. No idea why he was taking their free kicks, but it was a completely stupid decision, and I punished them for it. In the 88th minute, Ajay Boateng crossing it into Bong, who somehow won the header against 2 massive Swansea centre-backs. Bong, of all people, 5'7", winning the header, and we were 2-0 up. This felt like a real smash and grab. I was not deserving to be 2-0 up. I wasn't even deserving to be 0-0. I should have been losing, but Swansea didn't take their chances and I took mine. And it was 88 minutes, Bong getting 3 goals in 2 games so far, and that was all there was time for. So we somehow managed to win the game 2-0 away from home. 39% possession. We only had 2 shots in the entire game, but both of them went in. Swansea were very wasteful with their shots, and it was classic counter-attacking really. We got a result that we really didn't deserve, but I was not complaining about that. Bong getting 7.3 rating, Bennett 7.8 did very well, and Doherty 7.9 kept us in the game at times. He was fantastic. Really going to have to keep hold of him if we want to stay in the league, but what a great result that was. So we now have 2 wins in 2 games in the Premier League. Okay, straight after that game we have this report from Schumacher. He is our good scout, if you remember. We sent him to England looking for a winger. So we have Danny O'Keefe, 60 to 82 potential. Can't turn him down. John Mahoney, 64 to 86. I think I'll look at him for another month. Then we have Jonathan Tutt, 65 to 87. Again, look at him for 1 more month. Then Sule Bun, 64 to 88. Once again, look at him for another month. He could be quite good. And then finally, Tyrrell Platt, 66 to 90, even better. So once again, look at these guys for 1 more month just to confirm that they are as good as they look, and we'll see how they do in a month's time. So that's all I've got time for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the Scouting Gold contest this month is on strikers and centre forwards. So if you found a really good striker or centre forward that you scouted, make sure you take a picture when they are in the academy or just after they've been promoted from the academy. As usual, make sure there's no stat growth, so it keeps it a level playing field for everybody else. Take a picture of that player and send it to @FIFA Scouting on Twitter using the hashtag ScoutingGod, or you can send it to facebook.com/FIFA Scouting Tips, or you can leave a link in the comments below, or you could submit it on FIFAscoutingtips.com. Loads of ways of doing it. That ends at the end of the month, so you've not got long left now. I've had plenty of submissions, but a lot of them haven't been for strikers, so make sure you guys keep submitting strikers so you can have a chance of winning the contest. So like I said, that will end at the end of the month, so keep going for that. Keep any suggestions you've got for me coming for this career mode. I've got 10 days left in the transfer window. Anyone else you think I should get? Any positions you want me to strengthen? Anything like that, let me know and I'll have a look at it. And any ideas for the channel in general as well, I'd love to hear them. So I read all your comments and try and take it all on board. So leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Good opportunity, but again another massive Bong hit after the last game. Bong getting a huge elbow in the face there. I don't know what it is about him, but he seems to be a marked man.